Tanner Ox is a seasoned independent artist with over 7 years in the music industry. With 70 plus songs on streaming platforms, he's set to drop his eagerly anticipated album, The Truth 2, in early 2024, a sequel to his debut studio record, The Truth, released in 2019. And Tanner is with us here. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm excellent, thank you. Now, what was it that originally inspired you to become an independent artist?
It was kind of a road. Like at first, what first got me into music was, and it's going to sound dark, but me and a couple friends were driving to a friend's wake, a celebration of life. He had passed away. And so people were playing, the guy who had the aux was playing heavy like rap music, like music that did not fit the vibe for what we were about to experience. And so I said, let me play a couple songs. Let me get the aux. So I played a couple of songs that were more fitting for the vibe. They liked it. We went and celebrated the homie's life. And then we came back to the car and the dude went to sit in the front seat. And the driver says, no, Tanner's got aux. He's in the front seat. And so that's kind of where like the whole, like, I really like music came from. Let's run with it kind of aux thing. But when I really started making music, what inspired me to do that is like, it's sometimes obvious, but I have Tourette syndrome. So there was a lot growing up that I didn't know how to express appropriately. You know, I would either want to get super angry and yell at people or fight, or I'd want to just close myself off and not do nothing. So music to me was my like escape. I heard Eminem, Not Afraid. I was journaling some feelings for the day, for my thoughts, just to get a better idea of how I work throughout the day. And the instrumental came on after I heard the song. And so I was just reading through my thoughts, and it was something dumb like, today I'm feeling blue. I don't know. How about you? Something silly like that. But how I said it over the instrumental was like, whoa, hold on a sec. If Eminem's song can make me feel like that through his words and his vision, what he's portraying, why can't I make music that makes me feel like that? So that's where it started. It was all like, I made music for myself, to heal myself, for therapy for myself. And it's still all of that, but now it has progressed more into like, how can I help other people who may be going through a hard time or who may not know how to get a hold in the industry as much as I may do. So yeah, it's been a ride, but it's been awesome.
And living with Tourette syndrome, of course, music helps you as a therapy, as you say, but do your experiences of living with Tourette syndrome influenced your music at all in terms of the lyrics, I suppose, and the actual content of the music?
Great question. Yes, 100%. Because how I put it is like, I haven't lived the average rapper's lifestyle, you know?
Yeah.
I believe it or not, I got great grades in school. I had, you know, both parents and both sisters there supporting me. You know, if I got into a jam, I had people to help me out. So it's like, I'm not that typical rapper of what you perceive a rapper to be. For me, Tourette's has helped me form my identity, because it's really like, once I get the mic and I'm on stage, it's almost non-existent. Like if you see me performing, I don't know what it is, but it's almost like I don't have Tourette's when I'm performing. But it definitely does shape how I write my music, because I want people to understand like, yo, it may take me 5-10 times to get one verse done because I'm ticking in the booth. But then when it comes to the show, the stage, you see me performing like it's nothing. So I want people to know that there are struggles, but there are also very bright sides to, like, I wouldn't be who I am without Tourette. So I have nothing to thank for it, you know?
Yeah. And how come you don't have it when you're performing? What is that all about?
I think it's just the adrenaline and the rush, man. I mean, I wish I could lock it in and say, this is why, because then I would take those aspects outside of performance and try to utilize them. But for me, I think it's just, I love music. I'm not a person that really cares too much what people think about me anymore. So I'm out there, I'm having fun. I know my music's great. I know there's people that relate with it. It's just kind of like a comfortability to me. Like, no matter if I know everybody or know nobody there, it's like, I know my music, I know myself, and I know this is where I'm meant to be. So I think it's just because I'm more comfortable up there.
And if it is because of the adrenaline and the rush, if you ever do a performance and you do start ticking, then I guess it'll be clear that you're not really that excited about it.
Yeah, exactly. Which won't happen. I mean, I may have a little like as I'm rapping a little like head tick. And I keep going. Like at one time, wasn't even a tick. I just kind of was going to high five someone and I fell off the stage. And it was probably about 2-3 feet, not super big, but I hit a tumble. And I kept rapping, didn't miss the beat, got right back up, and then the crowd started getting louder as I got back up. So just that involvement stuff. So yeah, no, shows are amazing. I've done a lot and got plenty of love received from all the shows. It's been amazing.
Absolutely. Now, you've released a significant number of songs. Of course, you've got more than 70 on streaming platforms. So what are some of your personal favourites from your discography?
See, I've always said to people, every single one of my songs is my favorite for a different reason. But there's some songs, I won't lie, that stuck out more than others to me. 509 is Jumping from my first album, The Truth, back in 2019 is one that always sticks out because that one was like an anthem. I had everybody in. I don't know if the 509, shout out Ellensburg, go Central Washington Wildcats. That's where I went to college, and that's where I really honed in my music skills, meeting people. So that music video and the song was special to me because it was like a sign of I'm doing it. You're not just talking about it, you're doing it. Another one from a recent album of mine, my solo album, Finding My Ways. I really like My Pain and Finding My Ways on there. My Pain talks about, stuff that I wouldn't normally just chat with my friends about, sitting and watching a football game or, so I really think it allows listeners to hear and understand a side of me that they may not hear throughout other songs, that I may not be. I'm always vulnerable, but on My Pain, that was one of my most vulnerable songs. That one's a great one. And then another one that sticks out for me is Chances, because that one's just a message speaking out to people. Like, you got to take your chances. You can't let them pass you by, and so that message is super powerful. Those are the three for me that really, really are up top of there. But I do like all my songs.
Yeah. Well, that's always good, isn't it? To do music that you actually like and you're not just doing it for what you think is going to do well.
Yeah. That's because, like, for me, that's kind of what bothers me a little bit. There's people who try to conform to the identity of what rap music is today, what songs are hot today. And it's like, where you're really going to shine, where you're really going to see success is in the creativity and the individuality. Like, you got to be different. You got to be yourself. You can't be doing the same thing everybody else is doing. Now, there may be another rapper out there with Tourette's, but I'll sit here and tell you right now that once you Google rappers with Tourette's, my name is going to be on that list. Like, that's what sets me apart from some people. Not that it's great or what. My stage presence is another thing that sets me apart from other people. So it's a journey, but you enjoy the little steps and the little wins along the way, and it adds up to a big, wonderful prize.
And you've actually traveled to various countries for your music. So how has this global perspective influenced your sound and style?
Exactly. I love that question too. So about 2 years ago now, I met somebody from Oxford, and his name was Henry Truman, Mr. Haas. And so I met him and we started chatting for a bit. At first I didn't know what to think. And then we did one project. I was like, oh, he's cool. So we did multiple projects, and now we work together very closely on the daily. That's one of the songs he got too. So meeting him it was for a year and a half. It was straight just Zoom, Instagram, FaceTime calls, just because we couldn't meet each other since we were across seas. So he really kind of opened my eyes to like the possibility and opportunities that are overseas as well. I was telling him a little bit about, like, I just don't feel completely respected in my hometown. I feel like people just overlook me. So, I've been expanding elsewhere too. Long story short, we ended up linking up over in France earlier in February. We shot a couple music videos, got some photos in, did a couple of performances. It was very nice. That was our first time meeting each other. And after that, like, traveling over there with him really opened my eyes and showed me, like, music is universal. It's not just in where I'm at. It's not just American thing. Like, music, especially hip hop, rap, the genre that I'm jamming is universal. You find it everywhere. And it was just amazing seeing the different experiences from there's like a parade that was like a going on. I don't know like what they called the parade because it was my first time there, but it was cool because you got to listen to different music there. We did some shots with the parade. Then on my way back, I hit Amsterdam because they flew back to Oxford. I flew back to America. So I was only there for 4 or 5 hours in the layover. So I just did a short little pickup performance in the airport, nothing planned, nothing special, but people were gathering around. So it was nice. Yeah, it was nice. I think everybody should travel internationally, you know, at least, especially for music, at least once or twice to see what it has to offer. Because I've been waiting for my opportunity to go abroad. It was that amazing.
Yeah. Now, you are set to release your new album, The Truth 2, in early 2024. So what can you tell us about this upcoming album?
Yes. What I can say is it's going to be packed full of amazing content and a message that is going to be able to relate with everybody. Maybe not every single song you're going to relate with, but I promise you, everybody listening to this, watching this, everybody who's doing their own thing right now, wherever you're at, whoever you're with, there will be one of the 15 or 16, I haven't quite decided yet, I'm going back and forth, one of those songs at least will be for you and resonate with you. It's been 4 years since I wrote The Truth, coming up on 5 years now, because it was in April of 2019 when I released it. So it's coming up on 5 years. There's been a lot that I have experienced, a lot that I've lost, a lot that I've gained, a lot that has changed who I am, a lot of this, that, and the other that I've experienced throughout 4 or 5 years. And coming into the music industry, I wanted to be known as the truth. Every single word you hear in my music is facts. If you were to sit here and grill me on every single bar of every single song that I have, we'd be here for hours, because I would tell you what each bar means, where I was at, how I was thinking it, why I was thinking it, where I was, everything. That's how important music is to me, to create a concept, a message that people can understand what you are going through, as well as relate it to their life or somebody that they know. And so for me, I think that The Truth 2 is going to be something very special. I jump out of my comfort zone and I try to sing on a couple songs, which people who listen to me or no, I'm not down on myself. Like I can do it all, but I'm not the best singer. Yeah. I'm not the best. So I took the lessons and got some vocals in there. Hopefully people can hear that and see the work that was put in that way. But I definitely think there's something for everybody there. You know, it's a wonderful album.
And how does the singing in the studio work with Tourette syndrome? Because you say, like, you know, when you're kind of rapping, you can still tick in the studio. Does it go away when you're singing, or is it still there?
It's still there. It's a balance. So like for all recording, whether I'm singing or not, that's why a lot of my songs you'll hear like the fast rap pace where there's like no breath, there's no breaks in the beat. That's because if I take a breath, oftentimes I hit a or a small little tick that throws off my flow and I can't finish it. So it's like, that's why I have fast verses all the time. That's why you don't really hear me singing or harmonizing much. But when I do, it usually takes, 30 minutes at least to get, if it's a chorus, 30 minutes at least, hour, just because I'll run through a take and then it'll be good. And then, I'll have a slight little tick at the end of one vocalization that'll throw things off. So it's like, all right, no worries. Let's go back and do it again. All right, no worries. Let's go and do it back a 7th time. And then you get it. Yeah. It's some doubling up for me too. So I'll like double up certain words. So, hard pan it left and right. So if you're wearing the headphones, you can hear that difference. I'll do some things to add spice in there to where it's not strictly just my voice. There's other things I'll add, but yeah, Tourette's does affect that in recording a bit, but I work around it.
So how do you think this album, The Truth 2, differs from your first one, The Truth, from 2019?
Great question. I think it differs because of who I am now. In the 4 or 5 years since The Truth was released, like I've said, I've lost things in people, I've gained things in people, I've made amazing memories, I've had to cut some friends off, I've added some friends, I've gotten new jobs, I've gained more responsibilities, all these different things that's happened to me over these past years since The Truth 1 was released. So that's what I think the difference, and why the Truth 2, well, I mean, it'll be an amazing, I don't want to say it's going to be better than the Truth, because the Truth, all my music is amazing, but I think it'll be especially powerful because if you have listened to the Truth and then you listen to the Truth 2, you'll hear the growth. You'll hear the growth in not only my music, my rap and my flows, my bars, my lyricism, all that. You'll hear the growth in me as a person, the things I talk about, the things I focus on, the things that I'm worried about, I fear, I love, I hate, all this.
Yeah.
So that's what I think the difference between the Truth 1 and the Truth 2 is, and why the Truth 2 will be, more powerful, I believe.
Is the Truth 2 your second album overall? And if so, what is the cause of this delay of 4 years?
Yeah,
or nearly 5.
Yeah, almost 5 now. No, so after the Truth came out, I did a short little mixtape with my homie Lobes, DRDT, that had 12 tracks. I had 3 solo. He had 3 solo. We did the rest together. I did another project, a 20-track album called Finding My Ways. That one was released in 2021. I got some good features on there as well, amazing people. And then I did a couple international collaborative albums. So I did Global Sunsets, which was with several people from Europe, a couple people from Switzerland, Africa, Australia. That was amazing experience. And then I also followed up and did Something to Say, which was another international collaborative project. We got people on there. And then me and Mr. Haz actually did a mixtape together and shot a couple music videos in France for Villains Don't Sleep. So I've had 3 mixtapes and 2 mixtapes and 4 projects since the Truth, but I just felt like now it was time, because I felt like there was so much that I'd experienced, so much I wanted to get out, and I wanted to formulate it in a way that people could cohesively ingest it. So it's not just like a bunch of singles or a 2-3 track EP and then another 3-track EP and they're like, what's going on? I wanted to let them know this is the Truth 2 and it's time for it.
If there's anybody who is maybe interested in following in your footsteps as an independent artist, what advice do you think you'd give them?
There's several pieces of advice I'd give. One is screw everybody else. Don't worry about what other people are doing. The only comparison you need to make is yourself yesterday and who you are today. And that's a spot where a lot of people can get caught up in, like, oh, well, this dude's doing 10 shows a month. I'm not doing 1. Okay, he's got a different rate that his career is going. That doesn't mean you're not successful. That doesn't mean he's more successful than you. It means he's put himself out there more, or she's put herself out there more, so don't compare yourself to anybody. Everybody's on their own time frame. Number 2 is don't miss opportunities. If it's too good to be true, ask yourself, like, is it a scam? But don't miss out on opportunities. I could have said no to Mr. Haz. I could have said no to several shows that I did that have put me where I'm at today, that have got the people that have followed and supported me to where we're at today, because I take every opportunity I can. So I think it's big that you don't compare yourself to anybody but yourself. Everybody's on their own different time length, whether it's a year from now, 10 years from now. And if you're doing what you love, it doesn't matter about the time or the money. It's the passion. And that's why I do music, for the passion. I know my time's coming where I'm going to have the whole world hearing what I have to say, my message. But for right now, it's the passion. I love doing music. I love helping myself out along with other people. And that's something that I think people can lose track of. They get so caught up in today's society of making sure, everything's good on Instagram, on TikTok, social media. If you're not loving what you're doing, the quality's not going to be good, if anything, if you don't love what you're doing.
Well, what are your long-term goals in the music industry? Do you look to the future and think about where you want to be?
Yes, I do. And to relate that back to the last question, that's something I would say, advice on artists, look to the future, but don't look too far ahead. Don't look too far ahead to where you're missing what's happening in an hour or tomorrow or on Friday. So I used to be bad about that, looking forward like, man, I want to be sold out stages. I want to be making millions. I want to do this. And I had to sit back. And that's why, music is so powerful to me, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to deny $100 million, nice house, nice cars. I'm not going to say I don't want it, but I'm not going to sacrifice who I am, my soul, my heart, my spirit for money. So if that means that, I'm living in a decent apartment, but I don't have to worry about bills at all, I got the bills taken care of, that's my long-term goals. I don't need a big ass mansion or 10 cars. I just want to be financially stable from my music. So if that means a 2-bedroom apartment in Seattle, I mean, a 2-bedroom apartment in Seattle. I'm not a guy who needs a lot of luxury. I'm just a guy who needs consistency and certainty. So if I'm certain that music is going to make me X amount of money a month and I can pay all my bills easily, that is my goal. And that is one of my goals. Another one of my long-term goals is I want to give back to the people, the music community. So I don't know what that's right now. That's just looking like lyrics, giving back with my music, but I eventually want to be a bigger part of something. I want to be a part of a community, do music events, maybe do some music events for homeless people, for at-risk youth, maybe for people who are on probation or coming out of jail who don't get a second chance at a lot of things because they're frowned upon. So I want to do so much more with this music other than myself. But first, I have to prove to everybody like Tanner Ox is a reputable figure. I'm a name you want to be associated with. So that takes time. But I just want people to know that, like, I'm about the people. I'm about the people. I want to help everybody out. So,
and in the more short term, are there any more projects that you're working on? Is there going to be The Truth 3?
I'm sure there will be a Truth 3, but it probably won't be for maybe another 4 or 5 years. No, there's not. In the short term, after I release The Truth, I'm going to really focus on doing performances and setting up shows and getting some more music videos done, doing reaction videos, kind of setting up my YouTube to get other aspects of my brand, my business going, because I'm comfortable with making music. Everybody knows I can make great music. So now it's after The Truth comes out, it's time to branch out into, I'd say, more of the business side, like how does it go making a deal with promoters? Let's keep working that out. How do I work out deals with these venues to get a profit for not only myself, but every single artist on this dock? So there's not anything that I have lined up after The Truth, maybe some singles here and there, but other than after The Truth, it's going to be mainly like networking and connection building and trying to get a hold of people, heck, worldwide. You never know, because there's so many opportunities. You just got to keep your eyes open for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, where are we able to find all your music and keep up to date with you and find The Truth 2 when it comes out? And is there a set date-ish for that yet?
A set date, not quite. It's been all recorded. It's in the mixing and mastering process. I've got a couple videos in the works of being shot as well. So no specific release date, but it'll be early-ish next year. Where to find the music if you want to hear it? My Instagram is Tanner Ox Music. My TikTok is Tanner Ox Music. I don't have Twitter or X, whatever they call it. I have a link in both of my TikTok and my Instagram to bring you to my Spotify where you can listen to it. If you go directly to my Spotify, it's just all caps AUX, but sometimes you get some funky results in there as well. So that's why I recommend, if you want to hear music, if you want to hear, my music strictly and don't want to scroll around, go to my Instagram, Tanner Ox Music, click the link, and it'll be there. But I'm in the process of switching my artist name to Tanner Ox, because when I first started, it was just Ox on Spotify. So that's what all my releases have been under Ox, but it's a lot easier to find me when people type in the search bar, Tanner Ox. So I've been in chats with DistroKid about switching my artist name, so that'll be a lot easier soon. But yeah, I've been babbling. So Instagram, Tanner Ox Music, TikTok, Tanner Ox Music, and go give me a follow. Check out some of the old music I got. I'd very much appreciate it.
Excellent. Well, many thanks for talking to us today. It's been great having you here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on. It's been great being on here. I appreciate you, man.